So I always told the story that I entered a Dolly Lookalike contest and lost.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
There's nothing more fun than being in Dolly Parton's kitchen, and here we are. Good morning, Dolly.
Well, good morning. I got my table set for you.
Oh,
Okay,
that's so good.
okay, what are we eating there? Go ahead, give us a little tour.
Well, you know what? We've got a whole bunch of single-serve meals, and this one is the beef pot roast. This one is the shrimp and grits. It's got a little bit of a kick to it, if you like that. And then we've got, right here, we have the, it's called the biscuit battered cobbler, peach cobbler. And it serves a lot of people, but these are single serves, but they're big servings, so if you don't eat like a hog, it'll serve too.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, we also have chicken and dumplings, and we have the country fried steak. So we're excited. It's in the frozen food aisles. And this is something I've been dreaming about for years, to have really good meals that you could just go home when you're too tired to cook. Just get it out and have something you know you like, and it's satisfying.
I love it. I love it because this is the stuff I grew up eating. I ate every one of these things growing up. It was a chicken fried steak or country fried steak, and of course peach cobbler. But you know, my mama always had a little vat of bacon drippings next to the stove. Did your mom have that too? Yeah, you still do.
Oh yeah, people give me that for Christmas. I said, save your bacon drippings because there's so many things that taste so much better with that. I guess it's not supposed to be healthy, but what is healthy that's good, right?
Yeah, this is true.
Exactly.
You know, it was really funny. I don't know. It was not that many years ago you came out with your baked good stuff. The strawberry cake is my favorite, just to be honest. And now she has her chocolate pie in the freezer. And now all this other stuff you never have to cook in. We have a whole list of things we want to get to with you. And we start with this. I want to get back to this as well. Happy 40th anniversary for Dollywood. Did you guys know it's 40 years old?
Yes,
I did not know that.
Exciting.
I know.
How cool is that?
Last weekend we went up and celebrated the whole 40th anniversary a couple of weeks ago, and it just seems like it's 15 years at the most. But then here it is, like 40 years later, and we're still going strong. So thank you for bringing that up. We're very proud of that.
And also, Danielle here is our biggest Broadway lover. Did you know the Dolly Parton story is coming to Broadway?
No, I had
next
no
year?
idea. That's so exciting.
This is the big news. Tell everyone about this, Dolly.
Well, actually, it's called an original musical. It's called Dolly, an original. That'd be me, of course. An original musical. But I did write a whole lot of original songs for it to carry the story. But of course, it has all the big hits, but it tells why and how and the time frame of how those songs came to be. And it's just my journey from my early childhood up to now, and the behind the scenes that a lot of people, I think, will be surprised to know. But it's actually going to start previewing in Nashville here on July the 18th, but the big world premiere is going to be here at the Fisher Center of the Performing Arts at Belmont University on August the 8th. And then it'll play through August, and then we move to New York and open on Broadway next year.
Wow. Did you have anything to do with casting? Like, did you help them out with picking who you wanted to play Dolly?
Well, we had several people. We put out a casting call, and we actually sent about 48 people to New York to be interviewed for different parts, not just the Dollys. But yeah, it's really hard to find. There's 3 Dollys. There's a little Dolly and a middle Dolly, and then the older Dolly that kind of carries the story, narrates the story in a way. So yeah, we've really had some wonderful artists on the show, and I think people are going to love it. And of course, once we get to New York, that might even change some again. But we've got a wonderful cast, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it myself. We've worked so hard for so many years on it, and all the cast from New York came down to work the show up because my husband Carl was ill and I would not go out of town. And so I stayed here, so we started working it here. So we thought, well, we'll just go ahead and do the whole premiere here since this is my second home in Nashville. So I'm excited about the fact that it is going to premiere here.
Aw.
Is it bizarre to you ever to watch all of these people pretend to be you in front of you?
Very,
Yeah.
very bizarre. And it's very emotional. It just takes you on such an emotional journey, just seeing your life done like that and seeing different people playing you. Of course, it's always hard, like you had mentioned, what my feelings were about the different members of the cast. But they do a great job, and they're just so talented, these people that play on stage. I have such admiration this now that I never knew before what all goes into putting a show on Broadway or on stage like that. I'm more used to television and performing on stage as an entertainer, but boy, there's a whole world of things that go on that you never know how hard these people work and how great they are. So I'm excited to see if it does well. It's a different show. It's got a lot of good country music, but it also has some beautiful, great orchestration in it. And so we've got a great cast. We've got hopefully really good music. And I've either written or chose all the music for it. And I was involved in writing the book with Maria Slaughter. She made a great partner for me for us to work on this for a few years. So
How
I really
incredible.
hope people are going to like it.
Oh, you know we're going to love it, and we'll
Right.
be there front and center. But, this is not a new thing, people pretending to be Dolly. My favorites were always when a big old Dolly drag queen would come out. and a lot of them love meeting you, because I've seen some photos over the years of these drag queens who are like twice your height, with maybe it's just the wigs. That must just make you feel kind of, cool, knowing that people love you. They just love your presence, and they want to act it out on their own.
Well, I get a kick out of those drag queens. You're right, I'm little anyhow. And even with my high heels, I'm still little. But these guys, when they get dressed up, they're already, 6 feet tall. And then they put on those high heels, and it's like but it's funny. People always say, I can't believe you talk about the drag queens. I said, look, I don't care what they're dragging, as long as they drag it to my show. And as long as they're loving me.
There you go.
Wait, is it true that you actually entered, because I see this meme all the time, you entered a drag show and you lost to someone who looked more like you than you?
It's true, but that was years ago when my little gay hairdresser at the time lived up there near Santa Monica Boulevard, where a lot of the gays hang out. And every Halloween, of course, they all dress up. And he said, well, let's go down. And he's like, they give free drinks for the people that participate. So they would just walk them across the stage, and whoever got the most applause, got free drinks for the rest of the night or whatever. So he talked me into just kind of over-exaggerating myself, if that's possible. But, bigger beauty mark, bigger hair, bigger whatever. So all these big drag queens going across the stage as Dolly, and then I walked across the stage, just traipsing across my little sawed-off honky legs here. And nobody applauded, just like a little trickle. And that was probably David, my hairdresser. But we laughed so hard. So I always told the story that I entered a Dolly Lookalike contest and lost.
That is so funny.
Oh my
I love that. And you know what? So hearing you tell these stories, it takes you back to a time, back to a place of all the millions of things, these memories you have that have built up over your life and lifetime, as we have in our lives as well. But to watch it being played out on stage, and also reading someone's biography about you, it makes you learn a lot about you. You're always learning about you through what you've been through in your life. And it must be just a supercharge to know that so many people are interested in you, where you came from and where you're going.
Well, I feel very lucky, that I've lived long enough to and did well enough to even merit having my life story told, or that have people that interested in me. It's very humbling, but it is very emotional. Just like when putting the shows together, then when I started seeing all these actors playing out my life story, I would cry, and then I would laugh, and then I would just get kind of moody. It was just like, it was such an emotional journey to watch your life like that and still be alive to watch your live story. I'm still living, but we did manage to cover it from the early days until pretty much up to now. And I wrote a book years ago called My Life and Other Unfinished Business. So to me, some of this is a lot of that unfinished business that I didn't get to tell back when the book came out many years ago. So a lot of things happened since then. But it's emotional when they get to the parts, because my husband plays a big part in the show. My Uncle Bill, who was very important in my life, and Porter, all those people that were so important in my life, they're dead now. And my best friend Judy, she's in the show. She's not in great health either. But I get so overwhelmed with emotion when we're doing those parts. But yet, at the same time, I'm just so proud of the wonderful people that I have been able to have made contact with and to have in my life, because nobody success is is by themselves. There's always wonderful people that support you and help you emotionally, physically, and even financially. So it's a good story, and I've really been willing to allow a lot of truths and things to come out in this that I've never really talked about in depth in books or in interviews. So I think people are going to be surprised for what this show really is.
Well, the stories and the legacy live forever. Dolly Parton, of course. Let's get back to the food, because you know what? Another way we tell.
Always get back to
true.
the food.
We talk about we talk about where we're from, what makes us who we are, the culture we're from, and the foods that you have chosen to put in your line that's coming out. It takes me back to, like I said, to my childhood. I mean, which one of these dishes we're talking about in your new line that's going to be out? Is it out now, or is it soon? It's soon, right?
Yeah, it's out. It's supposed to be nationwide now in the frozen food aisles. Yeah, along because the other stuff, as you mentioned before, is still there and doing really well. And this just kind of enhances it. But this is like you could have complete full meals. We got the cobbler for dessert, but you can also bake all those other cakes and pies and cookies. But this is Southern food the way I remember it, the way I love it. And I'm very involved in the food tasting when we put these things together with ConAgra. And so these are true, hearty, flavorful meals. You get so many frozen foods, especially, that are just bland, and you think, Lord, you have to put so much salt and pepper and butter on it. You just wonder why you're even doing it. This is already got the taste and the flavor in it. You don't have to do anything to it. And it's good, and I'm really proud of it. So if you are a person that has grown up on Southern hearty foods and satisfying food, I call it really satisfying, you're going to love this, because it does have good flavor, and the meat's tender, and it's like, that's one of the other things. Sometimes you get frozen things that are, it's like the meat, the more you chew it, the bigger it gets. You have that, right?
Wow.
But this is tender and good, and I'm really proud of the whole line.
How many times did you say to them, nope, this is not right, but it needs more spice, or it needs less spice?
Well, I said it a time or two, and they listened. I said, no, that's not rich or hearty or flavorful enough. So we got to have more seasoning. You got to put more salt and pepper and butter or whatever it does to give it that flavor, because these are not diet dishes. So I'm not promoting it as that. These are hearty meals. You got to really be a good eater to want these kind of things. But if you are and you like good, hearty, tasty food, you're going to love it.
I'm in. Okay, before we go.
I am too. I start my own fridge with it.
Amen. Amen, sister. But before we go, choose one of those dishes that you grew up eating and tell maybe there's a story behind it, or something you were experiencing and you had to come in after a long day working somewhere, and then you sat down and there was a big plate of whatever right in front of you, and it just changed your night. Which is your favorite dish out of all these that has probably the most stories behind them?
Actually, they're all favorite foods of mine and favorite dishes. I've always been a big fan of chicken and dumplings. And I do make chicken and dumplings for my family, and I even cook it and freeze it and give it to my family, my brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, for Christmas. I cook food and give it to them, because I still cook like Mama and my aunts and my grandmas. And that's what a lot of this food tastes like. But everybody has their own kind of chicken and dumpling recipe. But we added more vegetables and things in this chicken and dumplings. So when you do have a single meal, you feel like, rather than just having the dumplings and the gravy, which a lot of people do, we added vegetables to it as well. And it's really, really tasty. But there's nothing in this world, too, just like a good old pot roast. Don't you agree when you go somewhere?
Oh,
it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah, because I could never be a vegetarian myself, because I love meat. I love beef and pork and all of the good meats. So, but the shrimp and grits is the one that's the most different, because these are all flavorful, but they're not overly spice hot, too hot. Because sometimes some foods are too hot, but the grits and shrimp, it has a kick to it. It's got more spices, and it's a little bit hotter than the others. So you need to know that. But if you like Southern food, especially Louisiana food, it's right on the edge, though. It's not too much. but it's got a good kick. Just know that. You wouldn't want to feed that to the baby.
Oh no! All the more reason to feed it to the baby. And you know what they said about vegetarians? If God had meant for us to be vegetarians, He would not have made animals out of meat. So there.
Well,
Gandhi,
I guess we can all justify anything we want to make a
there you
point
go.
of, can't we?
Gandhi had one more thing she wanted to talk about because we talked about this last time we spoke with you.
Yeah, I love everything you do. Obviously, you are one of my very favorite people on the planet. And something that I think doesn't get nearly enough attention as it should is your Imagination Library. I just wanted to say how much I love it and what a good program it is. But for people who don't know about it, can you tell us about it for a second?
Well, thank you for bringing that up. That's one of the things I'm proudest of in my whole career is the Imagination Library, where we actually give books to children from the time they're born. It's no cost to the parents. All you have to do is sign up for it, and they get their own little book in the mail once a month until they start school. And we started this almost 30 years ago now, and we just started in my home county. I did it with my dad, who couldn't read and write, and that always troubled him, and it troubled me that he was troubled. So I wanted to do something special that Dad could help me with. And so he really got involved with me to help me and give me some good pointers and all of that. And he got to live long enough to see it doing really well. But we started out just in our home county. Then the governor at the time, Governor Phil Bredesen, thought it was a great program. We took it Tennessee-wide, statewide. Then it went into Canada. Now we're in parts all over the world. And up to date, we've given almost 300 million books to children across the world.
So much.
It's just to
That is
teach
awesome.
children to learn to read, to love books, and more than anything, if they get that little book with their name on it in the mail, they're going to make somebody sit down and read it. So it is my philosophy, my belief that if you can read, you can educate yourself. If you can't afford to go to college or whatever, there's a book out there on anything and everything you want to know, just like online these days. You can find anything you want to know. But if you can't read, that makes your life very limited. But I am proud of that, and thank you for bringing that up.
I just love it
How
so
cool.
much. Yeah.
Dolly, you are just something fabulous. And and now we can go to the grocery store and we can get a taste of Dolly in every bite. Does it sound weird?
Yeah, taste the Dolly. Go for it.
Oh my God, this tastes like Dolly Parton. How fabulous. Well, look, thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you have the most wonderful day. And you always have a place at our table here, Dolly Parton. We love you. Thank you so much.
That's very sweet. Thank you so much.
Dolly!
I love you. Bye-bye.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.